All right, hello everyone. This is Heather Brown from IU20, and I'm going to give you an update on PVAAS that occurred in August 29th, 2016. This update is going to include new Keystone business rules regarding students that retake the Keystone exam and how the scores will be calculated. So the new business rule is if a student, and this actually one is not new, but if a student has previously tested in the proficient or advanced range in the Keystone exam, then they will not need to retest. That's in accordance with PDE policy, that will stay the same. However, if a student tested in 2015-16 or in any previous year and then retested in 15-16 but scored lower on the retest, the score from the retest will not be included in any analysis. Similarly, if a student tested multiple times in 2015-16, the highest score from that year will be used in the analysis unless, again, that score is lower than a score from any previous years. So what it is that PDE is looking at is when a student retakes the Keystone exam is they are going to take the highest score that the student had on a Keystone exam and use that into the calculations. The other business rules for taking the Keystone exams remain the same. Some examples are that a student did not participate in a full academic school year requirement. The student is a first-year ELL student. If they're a foreign exchange student, those rules will remain in place. So where will the retested Keystone scores end up? These business rules will only apply to the PVAAS district, school reporting, and the indicators of academic growth on the school performance profile. So on your SPP website, underneath indicators of academic growth, that is where this new rule will be calculated. These business rules do not apply to the PVAAS teacher-specific data because, again, we're looking at a large group of students. We're not just targeting one group or one student in particular when we talk about teacher-specific data. So it's not going to show up there. It will show up on the SPP site. So in short, this business rule is, again, if a student retests any Keystone exam, the highest score will be calculated into the PVAAS and district school reporting, and it will show up in the indicators of academic growth on the SPP website. So let's go over two examples here. Example number one, a student tested multiple times in the school year 15-16 school year. This student took the Keystone Algebra 1 exam twice in the 15-16 school year. The student did not take an exam in any previous year. During the winter test administration, this student scored a 1450. The student did not maintain a score or achieve a score in the proficient range. So that student retook the algebra course again in the spring and then retested. During that administration in the spring, the student scored a 1433. Because the spring score was lower, that will not be used in the analysis for the school and district reporting. The student score from the winter administration, which was the 1450, will be used instead. So again, the highest score that the student takes for the Keystone exam will be counted, and that in this example was 1450. In example 2, we have a student that tested in a previous year and then retested in 15-16. So this student took the Algebra 1 Keystone exam in the spring of 14-15 school year and scored a 1490. The student, after remediation, retested again in the spring of 15-16 school year and scored a 1485. Because the score from the 15-16 spring administration is lower, which was the 1485, is lower than the student's score from the previous year, which was 15-16, it will not be used. So this student would not be included in the analysis. So we're looking at the highest score that the student had on their Keystone exam if they retested. So in this case, the student retested, got a lower score, so that student will still have the 1490 score. The 1485 will be dropped. These are the rationale behind the new business rules. That PDE is committed to supporting thoughtful and strategic retesting of students on the Keystone exams. And we want all students to perform well and to reach their academic potential. PDE has changed the rules for including Keystone scores from students who have retested and calculating growth measures for district and schools. And these changes will help to ensure that LEAs are not negatively impacted if students do not perform as expected when they retest with a Keystone assessment following remediation. These changes will go into effect beginning with the fall 2016 release of the 2015-16 PVAAS district and school reporting. A student's highest Keystone assessment score from the 15-16 school year will be used to calculate district and school growth, unless that score is lower than a score from previous years. So that would revert back to example 1, where they tested, example 2, where they tested in 2 different school years and the retest was not higher than the original score. So that score will not be counted. Only Keystone scores from a full administration of the exam will be considered for use in the announcement, so they have to take the full Keystone to get that 1400 score and above, or whichever score that they obtain. The new rules will apply to district and school value-added reports, and again will show up on the school performance profile under indicators of academic growth, and it will start with this administration of the SPP score that's coming out in the fall of 2016. The growth data for previous years will not be recalculating utilizing these new rules. That is the update. If you have any questions, there is the PDE PVAAS link. As always, you can contact anyone here in the curriculum or professional learning department at the IU. There will also be a document posted on the PVAAS login page, and as soon as that is posted and we have it, we will forward it out to you to make sure that you have all the terminology as well. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and have a great day.